Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. You can check out my website, thehohoshow.com. I'm all over the place on social media and a proud member of Weaponized Sloth Productions. So welcome to the Ho Ho Show. And as always, I am your host, Ho Ho. All right. Oops. There we go. Take that thing off of there. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, Spreaker. Welcome, Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, and Facebook. I am actually kind of looking like I'm having an issue, at least over on Facebook at any rate. It might be working. It might not be working. I don't know. I'm hoping it starts working again. But anyway, welcome, everybody. And, you know, I tell you what, I'm in a good mood. As you can see, I'm still filthy because I didn't clean up or anything after work. I've been kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off ever since I got off work earlier today. Oops. But, oh well, you know, that happens. You know, today I want to start off by saying thank you, everybody, to, friends and coworkers who've been, supporting the show and helping me out and whatnot. And also to the other content creators out there, of which case, oh, hi, Gavin. How you doing, buddy? I looked over at you, too, just so you know. And, to the other content creators that are out there, fellow podcasters, thank you guys for making me feel part of the family. That's so very awesome. And also, hold on, I'm trying to get something reconnected. I apologize about that. Oh, well, no wonder why. I love issues. I really do. Good morning, Dave. Actually, good evening, Dave. How are you doing today, sir? So, yeah, a lot of thanks goes out to, a lot of different people. Now I can hopefully get this thing going. It seems like it's working again. Maybe. I don't know. I can't tell if it's actually streaming or not. You know what? Oh, well. I'll worry about it later. What was that? All right. Well, anyway, let's move on from this. Sorry about that. So, yes, a lot of thanks goes out to, I'll just start it over. A lot of thanks goes out, to, family and friends, coworkers whom have, helped me out along the way, helped me, smoothing out this thing and, get rid of some of the rough edges in the show. And thank you to my fellow podcasters and content creators out there, Mr. Canyon being one of them, just making me feel part of the family. And it's just awesome. I am, I'm blown away about it. I really am. It's very, very cool. And also to my, to the audience out there that, that participates in the chat and, becomes part of the show. That's pretty awesome. And also to everybody else out there that doesn't participate in it, you guys are awesome too. And I see that you're out there, so one of the things that I do notice is I do have a lot of, international people out there and just people in other parts of the, other areas out there. And one of the things I added in my website at thehohoshow.com, wink, wink, nod, nod, nudge, nudge. But one of the things I added in there was a place where you can, add, like if you guys want to send me a link to a show or something you'd like me to talk about on the show, you guys can definitely go there and, put a link in there, and I'll definitely take a look at it and include it in with the next show. That's one of the things that I want to do is, just allow a more of an interactive kind of a thing with people that want to share me, different articles and, whatever stuff from you guys' neck of the woods. That would be awesome. So definitely feel free to go over there. It's like way down there on the bottom of the page, though. So, have to do a little bit of scrolling, So there we go. So awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. So today's show, and, this is one of them things that has been on my mind. It's been something that I notice a lot, I've seen a lot, and it's extremely annoying, for me at any rate, whenever I see people who just definitely, oh, it is up, okay, cool. But people whom mistake, or make the mistake of mixing up freedom of versus freedom from. Okay, so I'm sure that. Good morning, Sam. How are you doing? I see you over there in Facebook land. Woohoo! Oh, I'm waving back at you. Ah. So anyway, I'm sure that you guys have read the Constitution. You guys have seen it in there. Let me just go ahead and read it. And I'm focusing at least on at this particular point in time on Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble. So it's freedom of, guys, okay? So the only time that you really have the freedom from speech is in the public arena, in your own home, in a private business or something. The owner of said establishment has the freedom from. That's why they can put signs up on their homes that says no trespassing, no solicitors, different things like that. If you don't want it, then you don't have to subject yourself to it. But, when you are in the public arena, and I'm sorry to say this, but you do not have the freedom from speech. You have the problem to, leave the vicinity if you don't like what's getting spoken of out there. And by the way, how did you guys like the music? I'm tangenting myself. I kind of did a little something different in the beginning. I added some sound effects and different stupid stuff in there. I'm not going to use it all the time. I just thought it was, I was playing around with it. I had fun. I thought it was neat. But anyway, back on topic. Sometimes I have squirrel moments. I try to reel them in the best I can. But whenever you're out on the public, the public square, the public arena, if you will, you don't have even an implied, freedom of speech or freedom from press. I mean, freedom from speech. You don't have that, so, but a lot of people are under the impression that, that they do, that whenever they're in the freedom of somehow means freedom from. And ladies and gentlemen, that's just not true. I mean, it's just not, And, my generation, the older generation, I mean, we get that. We get that, it's not the same thing. We get that it's different. We get that, that you sometimes you just got to put your big boy pants on and learn to walk away and, not let it affect you, which I know, granted, sometimes it can be easier said than done, but as long as it's not violent, as long as the person isn't in your face about it, then there's no reason to engage in somebody that, is speaking something out against you. I mean, we see people like that out there all the time, Antifa protesting this and getting all up in somebody's face over, somebody wearing a T-shirt, or somebody taking somebody's hat off of their head because it supports Trump. Oh, you missed the beginning of it? Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm sure you can, catch that for the opening of it in the, on the replay. But yeah, it's just like the first minute of it. But yeah, it was neat. I played around with it. I've got the, I was using Reaper, and I got that figured out. And then I was using a different program to put the little sound effects in there. But I was just playing with it. I thought it was neat. So I'm like, yeah, I'll include it in the show. I thought it was funny. Sam put in the chat, we are not old, just a fine wine. Oh, well, good morning, Mr. Howard. I see you over there. Doug, Mr. Salomon, welcome, sir. Welcome, oh, man, I just realized I forgot something. And, guys, again, I apologize. Let me bring up the other chat rooms because I forgot to put those up earlier. They're up now. Woo! That doesn't take long whenever you got your password in there, and it just pops it right up. So very cool. So now everybody over there in Mixer, YouTube, and Periscope can, participate in with the chat room. So welcome everybody. Again. Oh, you're barely awake? I can imagine that, Mr. Howard. So we're talking about freedom of versus freedom from. Oh, you're getting pizza. Oh, defending the Constitution. That's right. So yeah. That's what we're talking about, freedom of versus freedom from, because, and I've seen this, I haven't seen it recently, but I've definitely seen this, that you have some people out there that just get their panties in a bunch over, over somebody's shirt, over somebody's hat, over, a conversation that somebody's having with somebody else. And it's one of them things that you really don't have the right, you do not have the right to assault somebody just because they have in your mind an offensive hat, an offensive shirt, an offensive something. Because guess what, guys? Just in case you didn't know, offensive speech is protected under the First Amendment. What? Absolutely. Offensive speech is protected under the First Amendment. Of course it's protected. I mean, why would you need offensive speech protected by the First Amendment? Nobody's arguing that. It's only, offensive speech that's, that people really care about, that seem to get people's panties in a bunch. But, offensive speech is still protected by the First Amendment. That's why with Alex Jones, I don't agree with his, a lot of the stuff that he says, but on the principle of having the right to say it, and me having the right to leave the page if I don't want to listen to it, I will stand and support him for his right to say it. Absolutely. No, I don't agree with him. Doesn't matter. I don't need to agree with him. I agree with his right to say it. I agree with his freedom of speech. It's not freedom from speech. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean that they don't have the right to say it. That doesn't mean that they don't have the right to print it. That doesn't mean that they don't have the right to express it. As long as their speech isn't infringing upon yours, then they still have that freedom. Absolutely they do. And I mean, it's one of them things that, now granted, Sam said it very well in here that I'm just, like fine wine, don't really consider myself old, but I mean, I've been out of school longer than I've been in it, which is kind of weird for me because I don't feel young. You called me Larry Flint? What? I don't get it. But I don't feel old. I get it. I don't feel old. But, with the younger generation, and that's the difference between my generation and the now generation, because it is a generation of now. They want things now. They want that instant gratification. And, it's definitely an instant gratification. Thank you, Dave, by the way. But it's definitely about an instant gratification lifestyle that everybody has nowadays. Back in the day, I had a question. Do penguins have knees? A question that kept me up at nights, quite literally. And I had to look for the answer and search it and find it. And then finally, after years of researching, I come to discover that yes, penguins do have knees. But nowadays, you have a question in your head, the littlest of questions, and you can immediately go on your smartphone and get instant gratification from that. And I think that's part of what the problem is. I mean, we're so used to getting everything that we want right now, the participating trophy type of a thing, that we think that our opinion and what we think and how we act and all that other kind of good stuff out there, we think it matters. When really it doesn't. Your opinion doesn't matter. I'm like, on the grand scheme of things, when it comes to certain things, no, your opinion doesn't matter. it's not about a here and now gratification. Sometimes it takes time. You know, sometimes it takes time. So why did you call me that, Howard? What? Oh, but yeah, never mind. Are you guys talking amongst each other there in Facebook lands? Yes, PsyOps. You know, I guess Twitter does have the freedom from Alex Jones, but Alex Jones still has the right to say it. And I'm going to say that I definitely do not agree with, Twitter's decision to, get him off take him off the platform because, if you don't like Alex Jones, if you don't like what he's saying, and that goes for anybody, if you don't like what they're saying, you have the right to click off the page. You don't have to sit there and watch it. You don't have to sit there and, be, I guess in a matter of speaking, belittled by his message. If you feel belittled by his message, you don't need to stand there and be belittled by the message. You have the freedom to click off of it. It's as simple as that. It's a click away from moving off of it. There you go. No more offense. No more offense. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You clicked off of it. He has the freedom to speak it, and you have the freedom not to listen to it. Just because he's on the platform doesn't mean you have to listen to it. So that's where my attitude is on that. That's where my attitude is. And some people may disagree with me, and, that's fine. You have the right to be wrong. See what I did there? I'm not asking Sam about that. Yeah, I realized the name after I said it, and then, it was like, yeah. So I'm not saying the name again. I ain't repeating that. So anyway, guys, there was another aspect of this. Oh, that was his entire defense. Oh, okay. I did not know that. A very prominent, displayer of fine goods. The people versus this person. His entire defense was people have the right to not buy it and not view the material. Is that what you're saying, Sam, over there in Facebook land? I'm kind of curious what the First Amendment. Okay, right. And again, I would have to agree with that. That's, the First Amendment granting him the freedom of, and that's one of the things too, because a lot of people like to blurt out the whole freedom of expression. And technically speaking, the First Amendment doesn't give you the freedom of expression. It's in a roundabout way, yes, but I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's still covered under the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. So, I mean, it's still covered, not exactly, but it's still covered, and welcome Amy over there in Facebook land. So, I totally agree with what he's saying on that. That's definitely understandable, And another thing I was also wanting to touch base on was, okay, now I'm going to get a little religious. I mean, not really getting religious, but, another aspect that I'm wanting to talk about on this is also, did you just stick your tongue out at me? Oh, no, you waved at me. Okay. Hi. I didn't see what the emoji was in the chat room. Amy just waved at me. She was like, yay. But anyway, and that's the separation of church and state. A lot of people like to just blurt that out like it, not exactly like it means something, but like it's in there, and the freedom or the separation of church and state is actually not even in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence. It's not in there, and the First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So that's not separation of church and state. That just says that there can't be a national, a nationally recognized religion like, this is a Christian nation and everybody is going to be Christian or else they're going to jail. And that's what they were meaning by that. They wasn't going to establish a national religion and basically force everybody in the United States to be that religion. There wasn't going to do that. The church was staying out of it. The state was staying out of, your religion and the argument of religion completely. That's what they were, that's what they were talking about on there. And they weren't going to prohibit the free exercise of your religion, as long as Steve told me to use my supercomputer instead of my phone in order to look at chat in Facebook. Well, it's easier for me to see all of it whenever I can just look down at my phone. I mean, come on, man. It just makes it simpler. Oh, and you see me had to bring my phone up to my face to see what I was. Oh, yeah, I guess you did too, didn't I? Okay, so anyway, I'm back now. Mr. Howard's picking on me over there. But anyway, that's not in there. And think about it. Our founding fathers, they just came from a country where it was a nationally, a national religion, and they didn't want to do that to the populace. Well, good morning, son, over there in YouTube land. So, they wasn't going to do that. They wasn't going to establish a national religion, and they wasn't going to prohibit you expressing that religion. And of course, too, this also, hinges on, whether that expression of your religion hinders somebody else's freedom. You can't do that, so it's the freedom of, not the freedom from. Yeah, I got that right. And that actually was the show. I didn't really have a lot to talk about on this one. It was a fun topic for me, something that I was very passionate about, because it irks me whenever people just, they don't pay attention to the language, and people just think that their own opinions on it, or, it's, and I've used this analogy before. I've definitely used this analogy before. Oh, is my favorite redhead in there? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was my favorite redhead. My daughter. But going back to what I said. Dang it. My favorite redhead. You distracted me long enough. That train went off the rails. That was great. I love it whenever that happens. What was that train of thought, guys? Oh, thank the goddess that we have the freedom to choose religion. Yes, that's funny. I like that. Oh, I heard somebody say one that was hilarious, and I'm not even going to say it on here. Not at the moment anyway. But okay, but it's one of them things, guys, that a lot of people are under the impression that freedom of simply means the same as freedom from. They think that and again, I've used this analogy before, that a conservative or a right-leaning vegan doesn't want to eat meat, but a left-leaning vegan doesn't want anybody else to eat meat either, and that's not freedom of, that's freedom from, like somehow that what they choose to do with their life is going to directly affect you and yours and make you feel less about yourself or something. I mean, I don't even get the argument. I really don't. I never have. But for some reason, some people think that, they just don't want to be approached, or they don't want to be faced by opposing viewpoints. And that's what it amounts to. They don't want to be approached by opposing viewpoints. And I'm not like that. I grew up in an age where, there was a lot of different stuff going around everywhere, and you just kind of learned to deal with it. Maybe that's the problem nowadays is children, because they were being pampered, didn't learn how to deal with things. By the way, I want to pet your squirrel. My favorite redhead. They have a squirrel that lives around their house that is very, very friendly. Don't worry about the squirrel. Never mind. Don't ask any more questions on the squirrel. Anyway, yes, Mr. Howard, they're in Facebook. I'm not saying it. Anyway, guys, I thank you very much for participating in the show. Thank you for the chat. Unless you guys have, another topic you guys would want to bring up, because otherwise, I am still going to be doing my tomorrow show. I got some news topics I do want to cover tomorrow, some things I'm wanting to, things I'm wanting to talk about. But until then, that sounded weird. What sounded weird? But until then, I don't want to talk about them right now. This was just kind of a light, kind of a, oh, you named him Dave? That's awesome. I do. I need to go over there and play with the squirrel. My mother's neighbor, and this was several years back. They had oh my God, I got a story to tell you guys too, and this is an amazing story. You guys are going to love it. But anyway, a different story than what I'm about to say now. My mom's neighbor, a baby squirrel had fallen from the tree, like right there in his backyard and whatnot. And, he, nursed the little squirrel back up, back to health and whatnot. And the squirrel just, attached to him, just more or less became his pet. Yeah, I know. I'm sure that did sound weird. I want to pet your squirrel. But anyway, and the squirrel would, go inside with him. He had a little pet bed that the squirrel would sleep in, and he'd go outside and work in the garage and do stuff, and the squirrel would come outside with him and run around, climb the tree, play, sunbathe on the, in the driveway. And whenever it was time for him to go back inside, the squirrel went inside with him. It was funny, but I found out something the hard way. When you're going over to see a squirrel, knowingly, you don't. Princess Laura's like, I want to pet your squirrel. What did I walk into? No, I'm talking about a buddy of mine's. Well, a buddy of mine's squirrel. But anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, he. The lesson that I found out that you really shouldn't do is whenever you're going over to pet a squirrel, you don't wear shorts. Just don't do that. Just in case you guys didn't know, squirrels have these things on them called claws. And when they climb, they really sink them claws in there. And I did not think about this. Me being the airhead apparently that I am, I didn't think about this. I wasn't thinking about squirrel isn't just going to jump up on my lap. They are going to climb up my leg. And my leg was exposed. And so the squirrel decided to just, it didn't it wasn't horrible. I mean, it was just like little bitty droplets of blood. It wasn't anything major, but it was still used. It wasn't a heavy squirrel, so he just climbed right up on there, sat on my lap, and just, hey, how you doing? Sat down. It was cool. But yeah, it really hurt, actually. I don't recommend, so wear pants. If you're going to pet a squirrel, just wear pants, So the story I was going to tell you guys. Now, this was hilarious. This happened earlier today. Went to Walmart with a buddy of mine. And I'm, walking around with their boy, with their 9-year-old son. And now I'm telling your story. He's in there playing Xbox. Anyway. Oh, you love me. Anyway. So he's holding the door open for people because he's being nice. He's a good kid, And this guy walks up to him and he's holding the door open. And, hello, typical blogger. How you doing today, sir? Or, yeah. But anyway, so he's holding the door open for him, and the guy walks past him, and he's like, and he puts his hand on his arm, and he's like, hey, thank you, I appreciate that, And I kid you not, all right, his hand was going down to smack him on the butt and say, good game. But he stopped himself, but he was like, ooh, no, wait, I shouldn't do that. I don't know him, But I seen this going on. I seen the look on his face and the hesitation, and then the moment passed and he couldn't do it without it being completely awkward. Now granted, he's playing football this year, so that's just part of the culture. You smack him on the butt and you say, good game. That's just how you do it, you know. So that's what he was doing. He got the good game, and he was about to good game the guy until he stopped himself at that right opportune time. And I'm like, dude, you almost slapped him on the butt and said good game, didn't you? He's like, no, I did. I was like, you did too. I seen you do it. He was so embarrassed. So I went, you know, we ended up walking around because we were trying to find his parents. Seen the guy inside, and I'm like, dude, he almost smacked you on the butt and told you a good game. I go, that was hilarious. I figured I'd tell you about it and let you know what almost happened. Yeah. So if you ever have a chance to do that, just go ahead and do it. Just tell somebody, good game. It's such a good time. I told your story. You love me.
I know.
Yeah, you do. He's a good kid, though. He really is. It was hilarious. I laughed so hard whenever he did that. Oh, man, I laughed so hard. Oh, wow. Nothing wrong with a pet squirrel. I got to bring this up to my face because I can't read. Nothing wrong with a pet squirrel. I had a pet raccoon named Randy. Wild critters are fun for a while. You know, I've actually heard something about raccoons, you know, that they actually make pretty decent pets. I've known a couple people, several people actually, that's had, you know, raccoons, and they were, you know, I mean, they're never fully domesticated, I guess you can say, but, you know, they'll put up with you for a while, you know, but yeah, I've known several people that's had, you know, raccoons hang around for a while. They seem to be pretty good animals. Yes, Howard. Yes, it is. Anyway, guys, if you guys have anything that you would like to... Oh, you're on Facebook now. Oh, that's somebody else. Good morning, Mr. Wiseman. How are you doing today, sir? But if you guys have any articles you'd like me to, you know, talk about on tomorrow's show... And by the way, I don't see you in chat right now, but Linda, I did get an article from you last time I was on, I believe, and I have not forgotten about you. That is going to be part of tomorrow's show, 7 p.m. I will be, you know, discussing that then. Hi, back. I would wave, but no, I just waved. I meant on the thing. So, but yeah, if you guys have any articles you'd like me to cover on tomorrow's show or even on next week's show, just go ahead and send me something in the chat rooms, or, you know, throw something down in the website, thehohoshow.com. And I just did something weird with my jaw and it kind of hurt a little bit. Don't do that. If you ever have a choice to pop your jaw, just pass. It hurts. So guys, y'all have yourself a wonderful evening. Half-hour show. This has got to be one of the shortest shows I've ever done. That's awesome. I hate it whenever that happens. I'm letting people chat in there a little bit. You know, I got the chat window in Facebook land going, you know, blowing up at the moment. Unless you guys have topics you want to bring up, talk about, and whatnot, I'll definitely talk about some stuff. Otherwise, we're going to shut her down here in just a little bit. You know, ooh, I can play some music. Can I? I have no music playing. I turned my phone off, didn't I? Not this phone, the other phone. I have another phone. I got to turn it on. Dadgummit. You know, I hate it whenever that. I better mute that, because if I don't mute that, it's going to end up being bad. I can still play music, though. I still have that opportunity. Where's my mouse at? I found my mouse. There we go. You know, normally I have my phone turned on. You know, my phone that I play music off of. Normally I have that, like, up and going. But this time, I didn't, because I forgot that I actually shut it off so we can charge properly. Are you kidding me, Dave? The Washington Post wrote, whoa, I gotta read this. Mr. Canyon, who is host of, let me pause this, who's host of Dumbing It Down with Dave, just put in the Spreaker chat room that the Washington Post wrote a positive article about Trump. I'm going to have to check that out. That's unheard of coming from the Washington Post. You know, that is definitely unheard of. I would never have thought. Heard it on the Michael Berry show. I have not heard that. Amy Miller, she's like, you only talked for half an hour. Are you sick? Right? I just had a topical type of a show that I was wanting to do today. I didn't have an actual full-on news article day. That I'll be doing tomorrow. This was just going to be a, topical based thing. Yeah, that was it. And yes, Amy likes to pick on me over there in Facebook land. She does that all the time. Oh, okay, Dave. That's awesome. Fastest growth of blue collar jobs ever. And that's one of them things, man. And I've heard, we have the highest job participation in, oh wow, sometime in the 60s, like mid to late 60s is the, okay, I may have this backwards. I think it was like, one of them was like mid 70s. One number was from the mid 70s. The other number was from like the mid to late 60s. But we have the lowest, lowest amount of people in, like on food stamps or welfare. I don't remember which one they were actually putting that number, attaching it to. And we have the highest the highest job participation rate since 20 years or more. Well, since like the 30s, I think is what they said. Definitely since the last, 20 years. Highest job participation rate in decades. So, that's amazing. That's phenomenal. And dude, I tell you what, too, and Dave, you unleashed a can of worms on this one. I'm actually kind of surprised. Well, okay. I found it laughable. In all honesty, I absolutely found it laughable. Because, you had... And I think this was like more or less during the presidential campaign. Obama was out there, talking bad about Trump, saying that, how is he going to do all these jobs? How is he going to do all these jobs? And, it can't be done. I've been trying to do this for years. If I can't do it, nobody else can. All this kind of stuff. It's like, how are you going to do it? What's your magic formula? If me with a pen and a phone couldn't do anything, how is this guy going to do anything? He doesn't know what he's doing, and see, Dave also put in here something like that, blue-collar jobs growing at a rate worthy of a positive article. And yes, that is amazing. But, and this was like during the speech that he did, what was that, like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, when, it was either a week or 2 weeks ago whenever he was in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois. And, he did a speech over there. And he was saying, like basically trying to take credit for the success of the past, almost 2 years of Trump's presidency. He's basically trying to say that, I created all those jobs. He didn't do it. This was me. This was my policies finally succeeding after 8 years of little to no growth and all this other kind of stuff. Did you listen to it? Like, honestly, that's what he's doing. He's trying to discredit Trump. He's trying to take the credit for the growth that happened during his presidency. Come on, man. When you lose, you lose. When you win, you win. Why is he trying to detract what Trump's doing? You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. People whom are earning for themselves, people whom are successful, people whom work their way out of poverty and, are actually doing something and earning a buck instead of taking a buck, having their hand out to, to government, they no longer need government. See, when people are broken and busted, they have their hand out to government the whole time. Who has the power? The government does. That's why they don't want you to succeed. Basically, that's what the bottom line amounts to. They want you to need them because that's what keeps them in power. That's more or less what the bottom line is. That's what it amounts to. And good morning, Mr. Patrick. How are you doing over there in Facebook land? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. It was possibly based on information from the Brookings Institute. Oh, about the creation of the blue collar jobs. I do need a shower. I haven't showered yet. I got home, got busy, and yeah, I know I'm filthy. I mean, look at my arms, dude. I'm just absolutely grease all over them. Look at me. I'm trying not to touch anything over here. I really am. You know, I kind of got my arms at my side. I'm not wanting to touch anything. Let's see. They are the host of the mostly liberal podcast 5 on 45. Oh, okay. 5 on 45. All right. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that, Dave. Thank you for giving me that information in the Spreaker chat room. I've been really upping on, you know, different shows that I listen to, guys. Because I tell you what, man, I used to listen to, you know, like 9, 12 hours of Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125. Not a sponsor. I used to listen to him for like 9, you know, 6, 9, 12 hours, just depending on, you know, what was going on that day. But I used to listen to him all the time. And I tell you what, for the past 7 months, maybe, I haven't even listened to Sirius XM. I mean, I've been listening to nothing but podcasts for quite a while. You know, it's definitely been awesome. So I'm definitely looking on, you know, more and more podcasts out there. I can give you guys a list if you want, if you like. There's all kinds of really good ones out there. All kinds of good ones out there. Spreaker Show 5 on 5. I'll have to check them guys out. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Well, guys, let's see. Sam writes over here, I think our generation would rather work than hand out. And you're right. You know, you're right, Sam. I think there's a, you know, a lot, or you know what, at least that's how it is in this area, at any rate, you know, that most people in this generation would much rather work than accept a handout. And I'll tell you what, man, there's a level of satisfaction that comes in, you know, working yourself filthy. And yes, I'm looking at my arms while I said that, you know, but there's a certain level of satisfaction in a job well done when you work and earn your job, or work and earn your money, as compared to just somebody handing you a check for doing nothing, you know. Oh, Dave writes in here, I know that my company is hiring many, many blue-collar jobs. And, you know, there's a lot of them out there. I mean, you know, there's a lot of growth going on, and there's a lot of projected growth that's going on, you know, because there's I read something not that long ago. They are spending buku bucks on basically refitting a steel manufacturing factory. I think that's what it is. I don't remember where this was. I don't remember if this was in Pennsylvania or Maryland. I honestly am not sure, but I had seen it, you know, somewhere. I might have seen it on, well, I either seen it on Twitch, or not Twitch. Hi, Twitch. I either seen that on Facebook or Twitter or what's the other one I look at? No, warehouses as well. Yeah, he said not just hiring drivers, they're hiring warehouse personnel as well. But, you know, but I seen an article that they were, you know, just working on, you know, bringing up to par, up to code, if you will. It was a steel. I'm pretty sure it was a steel factory. So, I mean, you got businesses out there willing to put a lot of money into, you know, bringing it, you know, refitting a factory to reopen it again. That's saying something. I mean, that's absolutely, I mean, do you guys realize how much it costs to do that kind of stuff? I mean, holy crap. You know, that is a huge investment, you know, retrofitting and updating. I mean, good grief. In some cases, it's almost cheaper just to tear down and build new, you know, and I'm assuming that it wasn't cheaper to do that. I'm just throwing that out there. You know, that's a hard thing to do whenever you're trying to retrofit and update, you know, something. Of course, that also depends on how long it's been shut down too, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so also on production, equal opportunity employer, and I know that is in New York somewhere. I don't remember where he's from, but yeah, dude, there's a lot of jobs out there to be had right now. There's a lot of growth going on. You know, people feel, and this is what it amounts to, man, people feel secure in the direction of the economy. That's what it amounts to. There's people, again, have faith in the economy. We haven't had that in a while. You know, at least on businesses and whatnot, because you've got regulations after regulation after regulation, this getting shut down, that getting shut down, this getting moved, this regulation getting added on to it. Now you've got this kind of emissions and that kind of emission. And you know, they just keep throwing thing after thing after thing on you. Businesses hasn't been able to make money because they're completely having to restructure things in order to live within a regulation that really doesn't make any sense in the first place. So there hasn't been a lot of faith in American industry for a while, which is why we've had such stagnant, you know, a very stagnant economy. That's what a lot of it amounted to. And that's one of the first things that Trump started to do whenever he got the presidency. You know, President Trump has just, you know, he first started off by just, you know, just rolling back those regulations that he could. And now you have faith in the market, faith in the economy, faith that, you know, hey, we can make a buck again. You know, President Trump really has done a lot of good things. He's made some screw-ups, don't get me wrong. He's definitely made some screw-ups. But all in all, when it comes to the man's policies, dude, President Trump has done a darn good job. Let's see if you Dave put something in here. They're equal opportunity employer. If you can be off the drugs and breathe, you're hired. You know, and that's the way a lot of places are, man. I mean, if you can pass that drug test, you got a beating heart, then, you know, you're hired, because there's a lot of companies out there, and really, and Dave, you can attest to this, in the truck driving industry, dude, it is so easy to get a job right now and become a trucker. It's not even funny. I have no idea why I'm playing with the nail clippers. I'm fidgeting with nail clippers. I have no idea, sir. I don't know why I'm going to clip something, but I don't know what. Maybe I don't know why I'm fidgeting. Here, let's get those away from me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and Dave can attest to that, and so can, you know, the other viewers that are over there in, you know, in Facebook and whatnot, that, you know, if there are jobs to be had. I mean, there are truck driving jobs everywhere. Everybody is hiring, because we are getting to a point that there's more freight to haul than people to drive the trucks. You know, and yeah, Dave put in here $3,000 bonus hire for drivers. I mean, there's places out there that have, you know, $4,000 and $5,000 hire on bonus. You know, I mean, it's nothing to have that kind of a hire on bonus from a bigger company like that. I mean, they've got more freight than what they know what to do with. I'm going to have to fidget with my fingernail clippers again. Yep, and we have jobs that can buy, and therefore the economy goes up. And that's another thing that, you know, and that's another thing that is boosting the economy. Whenever you have, you know, people that are getting jobs, that is more people that is spending money and buying the very products that they want us to buy, you know. So, I mean, yeah, it's just all around, it's been a boost for the economy. Yeah, but, you know, Dave, you know, Steve, and Dathan, if he's still in the chat room, you know, I mean, there are driving jobs everywhere. You know, I mean, granted, it's a sacrifice. Driving ain't for everybody. You know, it ain't for everybody, but, you know, if you can do it, there's money to be made. Absolutely money to be made. It's a lifestyle change. You know, and that's one of them things too, man. I mean, Dave put in here, I'm at $28 an hour for 40 hours. Yeah. Oh, factories are giving out hire on bonuses too. Yeah, Sam over here on Facebook mentioned that. Factories are giving out hire on bonuses. I had not heard that. I mean, I'm not surprised, but, you know, I haven't heard that. Was there a specific company that you had heard that was doing that? Still got that nap back over here. 42. OT up to 30. Okay. 42 up to 30 hours a week. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of hours, man. That's definitely a lot of hours. Yeah, I haven't. That's the thing, man. Too, like as a truck driver, dude. And I tell you what, Dave, you do more a day than what I do, definitely. But a lot of people don't quite understand. We're in that truck, we're on the job, and that's pretty much what it amounts to. I mean, yeah, we got our shutdown period, but especially for over the road or regional drivers, you're in that truck, you're on the job. We don't have a 9 to 5. We don't. We got 14-hour days, and sometimes longer than that. Well, you're on a 4-day work week. Most weeks, that's what I'm on too. I definitely have 5 and 6 day work weeks, but they generally keep me around the 4 day, and that just depends on what I'm doing. I've definitely had them 5 and 6 day weeks. Let's see. There was a flyer that came in the mail about a month ago for GSI that advertised a hire-on bonus. Oh, wow. Okay, so Hydro Gear with that $500 hire-on bonus. That's great news. That really is. I mean, that just means that people have, faith in the economy again. Whenever you got people that are, putting on sign-on bonuses for that, and I tell you what, man. And I've heard somebody say this. I heard somebody say this, and that's what was that? The hire-on bonus. That's for a factory work, not on the road. So yeah, so that's factory work with the sign-on bonus. That's pretty awesome. $1,000? Are you kidding me? Amy put in here for GSI. They advertise the hire-on bonus, and she thinks it's about $1,000. That is amazing. We got good work schedule, Howard put in there. But anyway, oh yeah, you got 3 days off in a row. Yeah, 4-day work week, 3 days off in a row. You can't beat that. That's pretty good. That's definitely a pretty good schedule. But, and I heard somebody say this, and to be honest with you, I got to give credit where credit is due. I think this was on the Andrew Wilkow show. See, that's 3 p.m. Central, Monday through Friday, Sirius XM Patriot, channel 125. I believe he said that, if they are actually allowed, to get the economy up and moving the way that it should be regulation free. That's what we're getting an example of. I hit the microphone. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry. That it would get to a point to where you would have to run away from a job in order to remain jobless. And I don't want to say that we're there, but guys, we're creeping to it. I mean, holy crap, this kind of stuff, hire-on bonuses after hire-on bonuses, what does that tell me? That they need people to fill those positions if they're willing to give you $1,000 just to put on the uniform. That's amazing. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. Oh, Hydro Gear is behind on the pay scale. Okay. I think I just got a message. Oh, air conditioning factory. Okay, that's awesome. Oh, Hydro Gear air conditioning. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was Andrew Wilkow. If it wasn't Andrew Wilkow, it was Sean Hannity. But it was one of those two guys, and I'm pretty sure it was Andrew Wilkow. And of course I'm paraphrasing because I mean this was, a year ago, last year sometime that I heard this. That it would get to a point to where the economy gets that breakaway, and starts growing again. That there's going to be so many jobs that it's going to be impossible to stay on unemployment. It's only because you basically were running away from a job. I mean, granted, some people have it better than others in some places. I know he just got done saying some stuff, but I don't know. What I dropped it. I don't know which one of them said it, but it was just he broke my train of conversation. I thought I was back in, and then was like, nope, that train had left the building. Union Station, that train is no longer in there. I hate it whenever that happens. But yeah, I mean, it was one of them things that you'd have to run away from a job, in order to stay on unemployment, and that, it's okay. Yeah, that's where my train of thought went, Now that's one of them things too. Now, Dave, you're a little bit older than me, and this is really goes to, like, not necessarily my father's age, which is about the age, age bracket that you are, sir, but my, my grandfather's, age bracket type of thing, back in that time, you wasn't too good to sit your butt at home and wait for a job to come to you. You went and looked for a job. If that meant you left the state, then that means you leave the state. So people migrated to Pennsylvania. People migrated to Detroit, to go to, the factories. 55. I thought that's how old you were, sir. I thought you was. And yes, I went past Union Station today in St. Louis because I wasn't paying any attention. Dude, I wasn't either. Well, okay, it wasn't that I wasn't paying attention. It's that I wasn't paying enough attention. Crap, you got me. So, yeah, I knew which way I was supposed to go, but I wasn't, the sign, it confused me for whatever reason, which is bad because I used to live in downtown St. Louis. So you would think I would know where to go. And actually, coincidentally enough, I ended up driving like 3 blocks away from where I used to live in downtown St. Louis. I made a wrong turn. I made that left turn in Albuquerque, wound up in downtown St. Louis, and don't ask me how I got from Albuquerque, New Mexico to St. Louis, Missouri, because I have no idea. We dug underground because that's what, that's how Bugs Bunny traveled was underground. But yeah. Oh, you've worked since you were 11? I was about that old whenever I first started working, paper route. I wasn't doing anything extensive, like farm. I dropped the clipper, so I'll no longer be fidgeting with my nail clippers. But it was a newspaper carrier route, so it wasn't anything as extensive as working on a farm, but back in my grandfather's day though, it was an aspect, Industrial Revolution time frame, people went to where the jobs were. You didn't sit your butt at home thinking that, oh, this is where my family lived and grew up and this is where I belong. I'm going to stay here no matter what. No. If there's no jobs where you lived, you moved and you picked up your family. You uprooted your entire family and you went to where the jobs were. People paid attention to that kind of stuff back then, and that's how it was. And nowadays it's almost like people are they're too rooted in where they are to pick up and move and do that. No, delivered flyers, walking dogs, babysat, washed and waxed cars, delivered newspapers. You were a busy young man, Dave. Holy cow. Always hustled. Absolutely. That's the way you got to do it. I was a hustler back in the day. Not that kind of hustler. I was, I hustled a lot back then. Newspaper carrier, because having so many newspapers, man, I used to, I'd power walk them, and I always used to wrap them while I was walking, because my paper route wasn't that far from home. It was only like 3 or 4 blocks away. Wasn't that bad, just to get there and start the route and go. So, only one person you actually know that did make a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Are you kidding me? Oh, hold on. I gotta read this message. I gotta read this one. Let's see. Ask Steve's mom. Okay. Only person I actually know that did make a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Dude, I'll have to ask her next time I see her. That is funny. Dude, last time I went around Albuquerque, because it was hilarious. I went around there. I don't remember if I was coming from like California area over to, like Florida area or like the other direction. I don't remember which, but I remember going, by Albuquerque. I was terrified, dude. I did not even get off of the interstate. I'm like, no. I have watched way too many Bugs Bunny episodes that I know better than to get off of any exit ramp in Albuquerque, because I didn't want to wind up in Transylvania. Wasn't going to have it. I stayed away. So I just straight line, stayed on the interstate. I was not getting off. I was not taking a rest area. I was not going, I wasn't taking a truck stop. I just straight through all the way. I was afraid to get off the interstate. No, I wasn't that. No, no, I wasn't. No, I said I was a hustler. Somebody that hustled a lot. I'm not even reading that. That's just, no, I'm not even reading that. Well, hi. Hello, Gatton people over there in Facebook land. How are you doing today, sir? Ma'am? It's got both of them in there, both the names on there. Good to see you. So, yeah, anything else we got going on, guys? I know this is a little bit of an unconventional show. That kind of happens from time to time. It's kind of bad. Half the show so far has been, talking with people in chat. That's funny. That's awesome. I like doing that. It's entertaining for me. But yeah, that's just one of them things. That's how it was back in the day. The Industrial Revolution, you moved to where the jobs were. And it's a sad thing to say, but you've got people that, they've been living there for generations, and they are unwilling to pick up and move to go to where the jobs are. And sometimes that's what you got to do. If you don't have work where you're at, but there's work other places, then you go there. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Wait for the government to hold your hand and, sing Beatles to you? I want to hold your hand. No, I'm not singing that song. Amy put in there, we used to talk like this all the time, fun days. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Steve said it makes for a good show. And yeah, Amy put in there, that's how we used to talk back in the day. And we did, man. We used to hang out on the square, and oh man, we would sit there and just sit up there around the square. That was the local hangout, which is absolutely hilarious, okay? You've got the square, which everybody in the area knows the square. It's one square with the courthouse in the middle of it. One block, what direction is that? One block north. No, it wasn't even a full block, actually, like a half a block. Half a block north, you got the city cop shop. One block southwest, you had county cop shop. Oh, yeah. That's how we rolled back then. You broke something, didn't you? What did you break?
It goes right around there.
What is it?
It's a ring that goes here, right around there. What?
I don't know. Let me see it.
It's a little white ring.
Oh, it's a thingy jigger.
Yeah.
She broke her donut ring.
Yeah.
It's a little bitty. You guys can't see that. Let me.
Yeah.
Yay! Hey, my oddball's like right there. Wait, hold on.
I haven't changed it since I got it, so that lasted a long time.
Give me a second.
Thank you.
Did you see my sad face? Okay, I'm back, guys. All right, but anyway, what was I talking about? She completely distracted. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, we would sit around the square, and just, right there by two different cop shops, and that's where we hang out. And we used to hang out like that for hours. There was times, and I kid you not, It was like from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. We would be up there, you know, or at least get off work until, you know, the sun's coming up. Sun starts to come up, we'd go home, go take a nap for a while. But yeah, we used to talk like this all the time. Bob put in Facebook. He's like, dude, you look like the chains kicked your butt. Oh yeah, they did too. Yeah. I ever since I got back, I've been running around and whatnot. Oh crap, I dropped my phone. I've been running around. I haven't really been home that long, and I haven't showered yet, which was a mistake because I am absolutely filthy. Holy crap, flexing my muscles. Yeah. Anyway. I know, there's something wrong with me. Yes, hi, Bob, by the way. I forgot to say hi. You know. But yeah, good times. Good times. It was a great time. We were crazy back then, too. We used to do stupid stuff all the time. Holy crap. I was a wild, crazy individual back in the day. I really was, man. I've toned down a lot. Dude, okay, this is scary. I've toned down a lot since back then. You know, I'm pushing 40. You know, I'm not quite a spring chicken anymore. You know, but I've toned it down a lot. I used to be pretty insane, pretty crazy. You know, I did a lot of stupid stuff just because. You know, burger joint. You know, the local grease pit here in town. You know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah, she met me back in the square days, and she was 15 back then, dude. How old was I? Steve put in here, you poor woman. I know, right? Anyway, but yeah, I was. What vehicle was I driving? I think I was driving the Escort pony, and it was it was snow. Okay, it was snow outside, and I'm heading towards the square, and of which case I just passed a cop shop. You know, that one block right there. You got, you know, municipal building, cop shop, and then grease pit, and then square, all within, you know, that same one block right there. And I seen a parking spot. So I'm like, dude, parking spot. I'm going to park there. So I pull up on the e-brake, you know, and right into it. You know, just slid perfectly. It was amazing. The crowds were cheering. It was an amazing time. And the impressive thing was I did this. Okay, now granted, this was not the first time I had parked like that. I used to do it constantly. So I had the confidence to do this in an empty parking spot between two other vehicles. Which may have been why, when I got out of the car and started to cross the street, and before I got inside, a cop who had seen me do it, apparently, he's like, what the heck was that? I turned around, I looked at him, and I seen who it was, and I was like, parallel parking. Don't ever say that to a police officer. Just don't. You know, if they ask you what that was, just play dumb. That's my, you know, my suggestion to you. Don't do what I did. You know, I was like, this parallel parking. He goes, don't you ever let me catch you doing that again. I go, fine. What's your phone number? I'll give you a call next time to make sure you're not in the vicinity. He's like, dude, just get inside and eat. I'm like, fine. The cops all knew me. I used to get, not really in trouble, but I used to get pulled over all the time, constantly. You know, I had a headlight my headlights in my vehicle used to go out constantly. And then, you know, they'd pull me over. You know, there had even been times when I see flashing lights behind me, I'd reach over to the passenger seat, I'd grab the headlight out of the seat, still in the package, and then just hold it out the window, you know, and then they'd turn the lights off and I'd put it back in the passenger seat and keep going. You know, so they knew me. You know, they learned what kind of a person I was pretty early off, and I was just a little troublemaker, you know. So absolutely hilarious. And they would just, you know, so I got to know quite a few of them, you know. So, yeah. Just like on Dazed and Confused. Yeah, City. I'm not talking about that. Okay, I missed a couple things in here. Okay, 30, 46, then 15. So I was like 20. Okay, cool. Awesome. Just like on Dazed and Confused. Yeah, okay. Yeah, oh yeah. Dazed and Confused, Jay and Silent Bob Strike. But yeah, we used to just, hang out there. It was great. But yeah, so the cops got to know me because of that, and I'd give them crap all the time. I mean, I wasn't destructive or anything like that, but, I was obnoxious. I was ornery. I was obnoxious, not in a destructive kind of way. So, I mean, they didn't harass me too bad. It was one time I just got a new vehicle and I took off from a stoplight and I was turning left. And then I got pulled over by the cop, like right afterwards. The cop's like, do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, actually, I really don't. I was like, I had my turn signal on and, I wasn't speeding. I hadn't really gotten up to speed yet. All my headlights are working and everything. And so I'm like, I'm really not sure why you pulled me over. He's like, dude, you squealed back there. And I had a friend of mine with me. I was like, dude, this thing burned out. I peeled the tires a little bit. Oh, wait, hold on. I had no idea. I spun out the tires, officer. I'm sorry about that. Just trying to play the whole, sweet and innocent thing. Like that's really going to work for me yeah, I know, right? But yeah, like that was really going to work for me. I tried to play the sweet and innocent card after I just got done. Dude, my car just burned out. I didn't even know it could do that. I didn't know I had the power to burn out. Yeah, so. Yeah, I was obnoxious and ornery. I'm a perfect angel now. Maybe. There we go. I had to get the right sound effect button. Okay, so I'm not as bad as I used to be. I used to be a lot worser than what I am now. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take off. You all have yourself a wonderful evening. Tomorrow, I got some news we're going to bring up. We're going to be talking about the article that Miss Linda had sent me. That is something that I did hear about, but I hadn't really done a lot of research into it. So I still have to read that article and, get some more info. I had a hiccup right there. I apologize about that. But, yeah, so tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel, right here on this one, 7 p.m., news, regular show, more or less, regular show. Maybe not a regular show. I mean, you guys know me. I'm not a regular type of a person. I've found out that thing, because there is a, when I was younger, I'm going to give you guys another story. When I was younger, I used to eat, like a box full of cereal. This one particular type of cereal. Like I'd almost eat like a full box of it just because I was hungry, and I liked this type of cereal, and it was amazing cereal. That's not on. And no, you're fine. See, right there. See, you're good. You're good. So anyway, none of you guys heard me whispering in the microphone because I was doing it like this. You guys didn't hear that. Thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping by, Dave. Awesome. And I will catch you later. They can't see you. Anyway. So, yeah. I don't remember what story I was about ready to tell. Cereal, yeah. So I used to eat, just whatever, because I was young. My body didn't care about stuff like that. I had a body that just did body stuff, and it was great. It was fun. And yeah, exactly. Cereal by the box. Not like one of them really big cereals, just like, the smaller cereals, and it would take me, like hours to eat the whole thing. But I mean, yeah, that's what I did. And it was good. And then as an adult, I come to find out that I really shouldn't do that. It has side effects, especially when you're eating Frosted Mini Wheats. You can't do that when you have Frosted Mini Wheats. You can't eat that by the box. I don't care how small the box is. You better not be eating a whole box of Frosted Mini Wheats. I spent like a long time in a place that was not designed for you to spend a long time in. And I've also found out other things that I shouldn't eat a lot of. Peanut butter Captain Crunch. Oh my God, that is an amazing cereal, Dave. That is absolutely an amazing cereal. Ooh, Steve, yep, love you, bye. Yes, I just said love you, bye to my buddy Steve over there in Facebook land. But, I went over to a buddy's house. He invited me over for supper. So I went, and he had just amazing, amazing food. I mean, it was like fresh snap, garden fresh green beans. Oh, I can eat green beans by the truckload, guys. I don't know what it is about vegetables. I love vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, or McGurr. I love it. Oh, amazing stuff. I love green beans. I can eat green beans for like all meal, every meal, only green beans. I went to a buffet one time and just had vegetables. Fat kid. Buffet, just vegetables. What? I know. That's what I did. It was horrible. But anyway. Oh, I've done that too. Yeah. I have to. So I went over to his house and he had, it was great food. It was like pork chops and then fresh snap green beans and then like mashed taters maybe or something else and something. And then, homemade gravy and then something else maybe. And it was good stuff. No, wait, it was chicken. This time it was a chicken, not the pork chops, chicken. And I come to find out that whatever type of grease he used, my body didn't really like the grease. And so that, although I tell you what, though, large amounts of grease, people say like White Castle, for instance, people say that White Castles are bad for you. And I say, nay, White Castle is not bad for you. You see, it goes through your system at such an accelerated rate of speed that your body has no time to digest any of the bad stuff that your body shouldn't have. So I say White Castle and like foods that are high in grease that go through you like that, they're healthy for you. It allows you to clean out your colon and whatnot. Oh, I absolutely remember Saturday morning cartoons, 8 to 11 a.m. Absolutely. And cold cereal. Yes, Dave. I absolutely remember that kind of stuff. I used to wake up early on Saturday mornings just so I can watch the Saturday morning cartoons. I actually loved it too because like during the week, one of my favorite cartoons was on, and this was like in 1984, if I remember correctly, was whenever this cartoon was on. But it wasn't. I'm pretty sure this was during the weekday, but it was Voltron, Defender of the Universe. The only Japanese anime I have ever watched. I love it. Voltron, dude. That's where Power Rangers got its start, its origin. Kid you not, dude? Power Rangers? No, they ain't got nothing on Voltron. Voltron's awesome. But yeah, dude, Saturday morning cartoons, 8 to 11 a.m. You have got that right. But yeah, I used to play play Voltron like a half hour earlier than what I usually got up at. And then once I realized that, dude, this thing is on at this time, I've got to get up earlier. And then so I had to start getting up earlier because I had to watch my Voltron because Voltron is amazing. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. There's so many good cartoons back then. Yeah, really good cartoons.
Ever heard of Wild Kratts?
Yeah.
I love Wild Kratts. I'd actually sprint home to watch it because it was at like.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter.
I love Wild Kratts.
Oh, cool. That was the right microphone. I didn't know if I unmuted the right microphone or not.
I'd actually sprint home to watch it. I would run as fast as I could, and my mom would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm taking the TV." And I'm like, "I'll do my homework after, I swear." And we made those deals like, "I'll do my homework, I promise." And then I would spend like an hour before bedtime doing all my homework.
Dave said he was a speed racer guy. I never really got into that one. And
I
then
saw like an episode.
of Speed Racer.
Yeah.
And Steve puts in here he was the Thundercats. I used to, I really never did get into either one of those. I'm like, I watched a little bit of Speed Racer, but, I wasn't, that wasn't one that I really watched big. Not at all. I watched, what was some of them they used to watch? Oh, holy crap.
Did you see Cat Dog?
Yeah, I've seen Cat Dog.
I love Cat Dog.
I've seen a little bit of Ren and Stimpy, but that's a little like...
Encourage the Cowardly Dog, and I like the older cartoons.
I love the old, Animaniacs, but that's a little bit on the newer side. Smurfs, okay, yep. Yes. Smurfs was one I used to watch back in the day.
And I'm not that old. It's just I loved the older cartoons because my grandpa had them all recorded because he obsessively, compulsively recorded them.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just sit there and I'd watch
She-Ra,
it.
yes.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, She-Ra. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I think She-Ra was... I know it was like somehow, some way, it was a spinoff of He-Man. But I don't remember if She-Ra was more or less his cousin or sister. I don't remember. I don't remember how she fit into the storyline, but it was the same thing, a spinoff of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And I have...
Do you know one of them? It's
Beavis and Butthead, yes.
Oh, my God.
Steve said that she is showing her age. Oh, I know. The Wacky Racers with Dick Dastardly.
You start seeing my age whenever I don't know some of the ones.
Dick Dastardly, I remember the name, but I can't say as if I remember the Wacky Racers with that. I remember the Dick Dastardly name. That's about the extent of my knowledge on that one.
What do you know? Billy the Kid, I think, has the Grim Reaper guy in it.
You mean Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure?
No, I don't know. Maybe. No, I don't think that is. Because it was Billy the Kid, and it's a Grim Reaper guy, an annoying little brat girl. And the main kid, his name was Billy, and he was dumber than a box of rocks. I don't know. I'll have to look it up with you. I loved that. Me and my sister would fight because Stephanie, my sister, hated it.
I don't remember that. So She-Ra was He-Man's sister. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, see, I didn't remember how that...
I've seen He-Man.
Oh, I've definitely... Dude, I have season 1... okay, what was it? Season 1... Like season 1, set 1, or season 1, volume 1 of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. That was a good show back in the day.
I know you don't care for it much, but I would wake up early on Saturday for Pokemon. I don't know. I was like 10, leave me alone. But I woke up super early to watch it. And me and Stephanie, that's one thing we agreed on. We'd actually sit together and eat.
Hello, Mission
breakfast.
Sum. How you doing?
And my grandpa would just watch us while we were watching.
He's like,
I think he meant cousin.
Oh, she was cousin. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't remember. I really don't. It's been so long since I've seen that. It's just I do not remember. Wacky Racers had all the '60s cartoons racing. Oh, okay. Okay, Amy puts in here that she thinks that you're thinking of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yes. Thank you. I didn't remember it, but I knew the kid was named Billy, and I knew Mandy, and the Grim Reaper guy. I don't know. I loved that.
Steve has the first 2 seasons of He-Man.
Oh, my gosh.
And, yep.
We got to watch that together.
Dude, He-Man was... Dude, that was the... See, here's one of the things I loved about He-Man, okay? And I actually talked about this on a previous episode, and that was, it was TV with a message, because that's one of the things about He-Man. It was a show that...
Yes, grim.
Grim, yes. It was a show that, yes, it was... Okay, now, if you guys ever have a chance, don't watch, like, whenever you're, like, super young and you loved a particular cartoon, as an adult... Don't try to have a nostalgia moment and go back and watch the show. You will be extremely disappointed.
Yeah, no.
And that's how it was whenever I watched He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Now, granted, I still love it. I'll still watch every episode. But I was like, holy crap, how could I possibly have liked this when I was younger? What was wrong with me? A lot. Anyway, But it had a message at the end of the show. I mean, there was like a, the moral of the story, if you will. Like the little alien guy, or He-Man, or Man-at-Arms. I have the power. Yes, yes, Mission Some.
Oh
But
God.
it was, Hong Kong Phooey.
I
Ye-
loved
yes,
Hong Kong food.
yes.
Oh my goodness. I thought it was the most adorable yet funny thing.
Right? Yeah, but it was entertainment with a lesson, and that was the thing I loved about He-Man. It wasn't just a cartoon. It was trying to teach you a life lesson at the same time, entertain you, but, like educational in the matter of speaking. And, that was the thing about, Orko. Yes, yeah, that was the alien's name, Orko.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did it in a lot of those episodes, but that was the thing that I loved about programming back then, is it wasn't just entertainment for the sake of entertainment. Mm-hmm. It was entertainment with a message. It was entertainment with a moral of the story, if you will.
I was in art. Whenever I did art, we went through some of the old cartoons, and we would pick out lessons and stuff like that from it.
Yeah.
And we would draw from that, which I loved. And that's something that I wish a lot of people would be able to see some of that again.
Well,
I wish it was still out there,
Right.
like on live.
I mean,
TV.
I just wish they, I just wish they did programming like that, because, I mean, you had, Leave It to Beaver, which I don't remember a lot of Leave It to Beaver. And like I was in like Family Ties, I watched that quite a bit, and there was a lot of different shows like that. But I mean, it was just the overall, it was entertainment, Captain Planet. Yes. They had the 5 rings and whatnot. Amy, that is awesome. Yes.
What was that
Captain
one?
Planet. What's that?
I'm trying to think of the one, because my friend loves it. And it has that weird little alien guy, and he's green, and he's really midget looking.
Oh, Family Dad? Or
No. It's like and he's like a mad
American Dad.
scientist. No, he's a mad scientist.
I have no idea then.
I think his name was maybe Zid, something like that. I don't know, but I found him really hilarious. I liked his evil laugh the most. I used to run around the house doing it.
Alf. Dude, I heard that they are... Steve, yeah, I heard that they are actually going to be bringing back that series. I don't know. Do I remember Bat Think?
I've heard of it. That's about it.
Actually, no, I can't say as if I have. But I heard that they are actually going to be like redoing Alf, like a kind of a remaking of it. Invader Zim. Okay.
Yes. Invader Zim.
Yep. Invader
I thought
Zim.
his evil laugh was the funniest thing, and I would run around the house doing it, and it was like more like a high pitched squeal, but my dad would make fun of me.
Oh, Dave has the entire box set of Speed Racers. That is awesome.
That's cool.
There were lessons, and Speed was always traveling from country to country. Mm-hmm. Grand Prix.
I do know Speed. I
To-
remember seeing at least one thing of it. He was
Grand
in,
Prix. Okay, I got
I
you.
don't remember what he was in. But I've seen it. I know I have. I don't know what that one is. Wings of
Wings
Steel.
of Steel. I don't know about that one either.
Like I've heard.
Actually, okay, I take that back. I remember the name,
yeah, I know.
but that's about the extent of Wings of Steel.
when
But
I
there-
think of that, I think of
Man,
dragons.
there was so many. I think it was Airplane
Yeah.
related, but I again, I just remember the name. That's about the extent of it. I don't remember
Yeah.
much else after that or about it though.
There was a lot of stuff that I would, because I would be like, can I please wake up at like 6 in the morning and watch cartoons, Mom? You can wake up, but I'm not. 100%. There was like some cartoons that only played like stupid early. It was like this dinosaur thing where they rode on a train and went places.
Dude, there was a show, it was called Dinosaurs. It was people were in, rubberized whatever outfits
Oh my
and whatnot.
gosh.
It wasn't an anime. But no, I don't remember Batthink. I really
Yeah.
don't. Amy put in here that, she remembers Alf. She loved it. And she goes, I hope if they do it, they don't ruin it. And you're absolutely right on
Yeah.
that. That's one of the things that, I really hope to.
I never got to see Alf because I don't know what that is.
Oh, Alf, dude, that was funny. Did he ever end up eating the cat? I don't remember. Dude, he had a thing for cats. Because they had, the family that he lived with, they had a family cat. And he, tried to eat the cat. I don't know if he ever, the cat. I don't know.
I know this one's not as old and it's a well-known one, but I like Tom and Jerry.
Oh, dude, Tom and Jerry is amazing.
My grandpa has every
That was
single
from back in the
episode
day.
on a CD. Well, CDs. He's like a little case full of them. He's
Yeah.
every single episode.
Well-
Well, I'm being summoned to go play a game with my
Okay.
kid. Goodbye.
Well, you enjoy.
I will.
So yeah, there was so many really good shows back in the day. Hong Kong Phooey, yes. Camera didn't see me do that. Anyway, yeah, there was so many really good ones in there. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about a lot of the remakes. And for the same thing if anything, is what I would kind of like to see him do is more or less like, instead of trying to remake him, do the whole, what's that thing called? Remaster it, try to remaster it, get the quality up a little bit, there's all kinds of Scooby-Doo. Yes. Scooby-Doo was an amazing cartoon. Yeah, I remember Hong Kong Phooey. I'd never watched a lot of it. It's been way too long ago. I've not watched a lot of it, but Casper, yeah. I never watched a cartoon of Casper. Never watched a cartoon. But yeah, I remember Hong Kong Phooey, but I don't, it's been way too long ago since I watched that one. I really wasn't into it very big, but I definitely remember it though. But yeah, Casper, yeah, that was that was a cartoon too before they did the movie. And I can't say as if I ever watched the cartoon of Casper. I don't think I ever did. I watched they may have had like an episode or something of like Scooby-Doo or something that Casper was in, maybe, because they did that with a few different things, or maybe it was some other cartoon that did that with Casper. I don't remember, but I never did get into the cartoon of Casper. Hit a bong, sing that song, Cheech and Chong. I watched a few movies, Cheech and Chong movies. I like their stand-up comedy. They got some really good stand-up comedy out there. But I've watched a lot more of their stand-up comedy than their movies. Oh, holy crap. You wrote a book in here. Let's see. 5-year-old is in love with Scooby-Doo and is so hard to find Scooby merchandise. But thank God the DVDs are easy to find. Yeah. Dude, Scooby-Doo was an amazing show. It really was. Casey Kasem is the one who did the voice for both Scooby-Doo and Shaggy as well. And I purposely did not say Shaggy 2, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy 2. I didn't say it like that. I wasn't going to do that. Skeleton Worry. No, Skeleton Worries. Okay. I don't remember that one at all, actually. Yeah, Scooby-Doo, and then I think they had... Now, did they do a spin-off of, like, Scrappy-Doo or something? Was that a spin-off, or was that just a completely separate... I think that was a spin-off that they did. And that was still pretty good. I mean, a lot of times whenever they do spin-offs like that, it's not near as good, and they're just kind of... just trying to keep their entire success based off of the original show. Kind of like, like a Mork and Mindy type of a thing. Because Mork and Mindy was actually a spinoff of Conan, huh? But Mork and Mindy was a spinoff of another TV series. I don't know if it was like Happy Days or It might have been Happy Days. That was a spinoff from that, or like Laverne and Shirley, maybe. You know, that's a show from back in the day, Laverne and Shirley. That was a good one though. But yeah, Mork and Mindy was a spinoff, but that was actually a pretty successful spinoff though. But sometimes you get spinoffs that, you know, just don't do near as good as the original. You know, that definitely happens sometimes. Well, guys, okay, so it's been Facebook Scooby-Doo sells merchandise. Really? Heh. I did not know that. Oh, man, another book. Amy, you're killing me. See, they have a new series of Scooby-Doo on Boomerang Network called Be Cool Scooby-Doo. It's not that good. Oh. Is that one that they, is that one that he's like, you know, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are younger and they're in school or something? Or was that something, am I thinking totally something different? Because I think they did something like that, you know, a younger days type of thing. You know, they were all kids or something. I remember, I remember seeing it. Not that I remember any episodes or any of that, but I do remember that. Oh, you're from merry old England. Okay, well that's awesome. But yeah, but is that the one, the Be Cool Scooby-Doo? Is that the one they were in high school or whatnot? Oh, a pup named Scooby-Doo. Okay. Yeah, see, I remember watching it. Can't say as if I remembered any episodes, but I remembered watching it. I remember they were younger. That actually wasn't bad, though, at least from what I remember of it. You know, from what I remember, it wasn't that bad. It was a good show. What's a few other ones that were really good from back in the day? See, the sad thing is, like, if I'm just, like, talking with somebody about them, I can, you know, they come out. Yeah, they were all kids. Yeah, that's one of the things I do remember about them. They were, like, you know, short with, you know. Oh, your son has it? That's awesome. That's awesome. Like the Roadrunner. Oh man, dude, the Roadrunner was awesome. You know, if I was Wile E. Coyote, I think I would have learned. You know, very early off. Oh yes, the Smurfs. That was an awesome one too. That was an awesome cartoon. That really was. I used to enjoy the Smurfs. Fraggle Rock was a awesome, ridiculous show too. Oh man, yeah, both of those shows. I love, dude. Okay, I listened to, and I'm going to age myself here, really bad. I used to have the Fraggle Rock on like the theme music, the theme song, on a 45 record. I used to have that. It was an awesome record, man. 45s were amazing back in the day. But yes, I used to have the Fraggle Rock theme song, like 2 different versions and then a couple additional songs too, on a 45. A 45. Y'all don't even know. A 45 was awesome. But yeah, the Smurfs were awesome. It was a really good show. I loved it. You know, they started to get into, how many seasons was Smurfs? Yeah, oh yeah, I definitely know Fraggle Rock, man. I loved that show. That show was awesome. I used to watch that. That was one of my most favorite ones because it was like, you know, it was a Muppets based, you know, type of a show. I don't know if it was actually the Muppets that did it, you know, if it was Jim Henson or not. I really don't remember. But it was a Muppets type of a thing. That type of stuff it always intrigued me. You know, I loved watching that type of stuff because it's like a mixture, like it's not a cartoon. I mean, it's a live action thing, but it's not a cartoon. So, I mean, it was neat. You know, I loved watching that type of thing. It was very, very cool. But yeah, Fraggle Rock, man. Down to Fraggle Rock. Down to Fraggle Rock. Oh, Amy put in here Gumby. Oh, yeah. I never got real big on claymation. You know, I really didn't watch a lot of Gumby. What I watched of it, I mean, I thought it was okay, but I never did get big in the Gumby. Never did. I liked it, but I never really got big into it. Gumby and what was the name of his Pokey? Was that the name of the horse, Pokey? Okay, so Amy put in here that Fraggle Rock was Jim Henson, and that you have the first season on DVD. That is amazing. Yeah, see, I didn't remember if it actually was. I mean, I kind of figured that it was because I don't know of anybody else in that time that was doing, you know, Muppets. I didn't know of anybody else that was doing it. Okay, so Pokey, I was right. Gumby and Pokey, yeah. But I didn't know of anybody else that was doing, that was doing Muppets. So Jim Henson was the only one that I knew. So I just kind of figured it had to have been him. Well, guys, you know, I thank you guys very much for participating in the chat and just, sitting back, having a conversation with me. Very, very awesome. I enjoy them type of shows. I really do. I enjoy these type of shows. I think it's fun just to be able to, you know, sit back and just have a conversation with the audience. It cracks me up. It's always a good time. And, definitely, guys, just feel free to hit that follow and like button. This way you guys can get notified anytime I upload a new video or go live. You know, if you guys want to join in the conversation, feel free to get into that chat room. And Fraggle Rock came out in 1983. That is awesome. That was a good show, man. That's one of them I missed. I need to find that one again. I'd not even search for Fraggle Rock. But yeah, guys, so thank you guys very much for stopping by, for hanging out with me. So y'all have a great one. Good night, sleep tight, and at the bed bugs bite. Manga cartoons, Ninja. I really never did get into manga. No reason. I just never did. You know, I was kind of, I guess, getting away from cartoons at the time that really, was becoming popular, because I really don't even remember, like, seeing it anywhere. I do know some people that are interested in manga, but I can't say as if I really ever got into it. I never did. I think I was kind of pulling away from cartoons at the time and hadn't gotten back into it again because, I cycled in and out of cartoons for a while. Cartoons are just awesome. Animation. I'm actually wanting to get into animation, be honest with you. I want to do some experimenting with animation. I think it'll be fun. I can't wait to try it. So, all right, guys. So thank you very much for hanging out. Y'all have yourself a wonderful evening. Good night. Sleep tight. And if the bed bugs bite, then by golly, bite them back. Y'all have a good one. Dadgummit. I forgot that I didn't put music in there yet. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.